Okay, for proof number three is our founding fathers. You see, every culture in the world have history of their founding fathers. Some accurate, some not very accurate. But any people, any culture can trace who give birth to them, where they come from. And if you do a very good job of that, you can see that they are usually correct because the names of their founders usually are retained in either their names or their language or a river or a mountain in their area wherever they settled. In Igbo land, before the Bible came to Africa, again, all the proof we're giving you here is cultural practices that we had in Igbo land before we even heard of the Bible, before we even saw the white man or had the Christianity. This is what we had. Now, in Igbo land, some villages in Igbo land can trace their ancestry to a man named Eri. Now, please pay attention. I say some villages, not all villages, but the older villages in Igbo land. What I mean by older is the first Igbos to settle in West Africa. They can trace their ancestry to a man named Eri. And this Eri came to Igbo land from the north, and he settled in Igbo land, and his children went and founded the various villages that are Igbo villages all over, but not all the Igbo villages. Now, the theory behind this is that while the Eri migrated to this area through the river Niger, and then subsequently other Hebrew tribes migrated down and joined them. Now, this man, his name is Eri, the founding father of the Igbo people, and whenever Igbos are meeting or whenever there is a congregation of Igbo people, every Igbo person recognizes the seniority of the Umueri clan. That is, Umueri means children of Eri. The presence of Eri in Igbo land is not only supported by historical facts, it's also supported by etymological facts. For instance, in Igbo land, if you want to say long time ago, the words we use is Erimbe or Erioge. What that simply means is in the days of Eri or in the time of Eri. So you see right there, at the formative stage of our language, the name Eri is there that tells you that Eri is somebody that existed in the primal state of Igbo as a civilization. Now let's go to the Bible and see if we can find this Eri. And let's see if he is Hebrew. If you go to Genesis chapter 46, in verse 16, it says, the sons of Gad. Who is Gad? First, okay, yeah, let's stop reading. Who is Gad? Gad is the son of Jacob. He's the son between Jacob and Zilpah. Zilpah was the maiden of Leah, Jacob's first wife. Here, Genesis 46 verse 16, that's where I am now. It says, and the sons of Gad, Ziphion, Haggai, Shuni, Esbon, Eri. It's right there. And Arodi and Areli. So you see Eri right there. Again, please note that the Igbos did not just see the Bible and then run home and say, you know what, let's start naming our villages or let's start changing our words or how we say a long time ago. Picked this particular, I will just do any, mini, minimal and pick the name in the Bible. No. We've had this name long before the Bible came. And like I mentioned, if you want to say long time ago in Igbo land, it means Erimbe. That's in the days of Eri. Now, that's not only that. We have communities all over Igbo land. We have villages that have the name Eri in them. There are villages that are called Agulueri. Agulueri means namesake of Eri. There are villages that are called Umulueri. Umulueri means children of Eri's second child. Some people theorize that it means children of Aleri. That's also possible. Aleri is also mentioned as the last born of Gad. Personally, I believe that's actually what it means. But some people theorize differently about that. We have villages that are called Oreri. Oraeri. Oraeri means people of Eri. So the name Eri, it's not just, it's somebody that existed, and you have village that called children of Eri, namesake of Eri, people of Eri. They should show you that he existed in Igbo land. And right there in Genesis chapter 46, verse 16, you see him right there in the Bible. And he is a Hebrew, a grandson of Jacob. So in Igbo land, those who have actually studied it believe that Eri left the Palestine area and migrated, found his way down through the river Niger down to Nigeria, southeastern Nigeria now, and settled. And later on, as the heat got on, maybe Salmanasseh sacked the northern kingdom, and then Romans sacked the kingdom of Judah. The other Hebrews migrated and found a way and joined their brothers down here. So we see our founding father right there in the Bible. And again, like I said, this is not all the villages could trace their founding father to him, because a lot subsequent people that migrated cannot trace their ancestry to him because they are not from the tribe of Gad. But the original people that settled here in Africa were from the tribe of Gad. So our founding father is right there in the Bible, and that was our proof number 3. So from there we'll take you to proof number 4. And this one is actually very, very important. It's segregation of women in their monthly period. Yes. In Igbo land, when a woman is seeing her menstrual period, in that time she is kept apart from the community. She is considered unclean, and nobody comes close to her, nobody touches her. In fact, families come together, they build a hut for their mothers and their daughters in their menstrual period, where they stay, where they live, apart, away from the rest of the community. Nobody touches them. Their husband don't touch them. Anybody that touches them is considered unclean with them, and the person might as well go and stay with them in the hut. This is Igbo tradition. Long before the Bible or anything came to Africa, this was our tradition. In fact, you won't believe this, we had this tradition and it was abolished by the Christians. The so-called missionaries that came to bring us the so-called good news. They saw we had this tradition, they didn't know it was biblical, they abolished it. And a whole lot of narrative were put forward to abolish this, including women's rights and marginalizing against women and all those ones. So this is a biblical tradition that we've had. When a woman is in a period, for the for the 4 or 6 days of the menstrual period, she's kept apart from the community. No one comes close to her. If she is a nursing mother, she will go with the child, and when the period is over, prayers are made, sacrifices are offered in some instances, and then she joins back the community back, and then she cooks and she eats with everyone else. But for the time of her period, she's isolated from the community. She's kept apart in a separate hut, and then sometimes they cook for themselves if they are staying together. If it's only one person there, we just take food to them, and when you take food to them, you don't touch them, you don't even touch the plates they've eaten with. All the plates stay there until they are done with the period. This is a tradition that was Igbo-wide. Any Igbo person you know, ask them this. They will tell you this was our tradition. There is no other tribe in the world, and this is one of the reasons we are very adamant about this. There is no other tribe in the world that do this. Not even the Jewish people. Go and look at their history. They don't do this. They don't do this. There's no other tribe. For those of you who claim that the people from Kenya are the Israelites, those from Congo are the Israelites, go and look at your tradition. They don't do this. The Igbo people are the only people in the world who have this tradition. And sadly, this tradition was abolished by the so-called Christians who came to bring us so-called good news. So I want to put this out there, and it's important for our people to know that this is a practice, and it is in the Bible. It's biblical, right here. If you go to Leviticus chapter 15 or Leviticus chapter 18 or Leviticus chapter 20, you will see this practice where the ancient Hebrews, when a woman is in her period, she's isolated from the community. That is what the Hebrews do. If you go to 2 Samuel chapter 11 or Ezekiel chapter 22, you see the same practice. It's there. This is what the Hebrews do. And we, the Hebrews, were doing it until the house of Gog and Magog came and stopped it and abolished it among us. And even we still have stories. We still have people, old people among us still practice that. Of course, they're no longer seeing their period. But for instance, my wife's grandmother was disgusted when, she heard that my wife was not staying apart when she was in her period. So we still have our ancients of days, our old people who still maintain this. And this is important for any Hebrew person that's listening. It's time for you to talk to the old people among your community. They will tell you things that we do that are biblical, and you will see it. You will know that we are really the tribe of the Hebrews of the Bible. We are the people of the Bible.